Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura. My grandchildren get very excited when they get to go fishing with their grandfather. So today I am going to make some fishing placemats. The pattern I'm going to use is not designed for placemats. It's designed for a beautiful quilt, but I'm going to take some elements from that quilt and turn them into placemats. The quilt pattern that I'm going to use, but I'm not really going to use, is this pattern called Lake Living. So it has not only fish, but animals that you would see around the lakes. This applique pattern is done just a little bit different than other applique patterns. Most times you lay out your fabric, you draw your placements, and then you put your applique pieces on top. This is a little bit different. What we're going to do is build up layers first and then put them on our fabric. And by doing that, it means we can addition different fabrics and different layouts. So I have already made a few of them. The Catfish is done. The Bass is done. The Blue Heron is done. So now I need to make the Otter. With the pattern, you do get your applique pieces and they are in the right color area. So if we're going to use black, we just need a little section of black. The gray's all in its own category, so we don't have to worry about finding what numbers go with what colors. And when we look at these applique pieces, we're going to see these dotted lines. These dotted lines are overlapping lines. So we're going to cut the applique pieces out for this full size, but then this area here are overlap areas. The other thing that's quite different is this layout sheet. So when I'm looking at the layout sheet this way, it looks like it's in reverse. Because it is reversed, we are going to use the back of this sheet. Now this sheet has a special coating on it that we're going to be able to iron over top, and our applique pieces are going to stick right on top of this sheet. So we're going to build up all of the pieces right here, so those pieces will stick right on that shiny side. When we have it all built, we're going to be able to remove it all in one layer. And this piece can be used many, many times over and over again, so we can do that same applique shape as many times as we want. Let's do the step-by-step and build Mr. Otter. So here's an example of the medium brown. I was able to trace the shapes on my fusible web, ironed the fusible web onto the fabric, and then cut it out. The fabric, of course, is going to be down so that it's going to go the right side when we do get to the pattern. And here we have that overlap shape. So there's a few ways we could transfer these overlapping shapes. The one way is when we do trace out the shape on our fusible web, to be sure to add them right on that page. They're not cutting lines, but they are placement lines. We're going to be able to transfer those lines onto the front of this fabric. And to transfer those, we can actually use tracing paper. Tracing paper is used a lot for dressmaking, but we can definitely pull it into this project. So this particular package comes with lots of different colors, so we're going to be able to use a color that will show up on our fabric. Place that colored paper down so the color or that chalk is right side up, and then place the fabric so the right side of the fabric is touching it. Now I can just trace over this line. If it's a fairly straight line, we can use our tracing wheel. We can also use a little wooden pointer, or you can use a chopstick. You can also use a pen. And we're just going to trace over top of that shape, and that chalk on that paper is going to transfer onto the back of this fabric. So just run your tool, whatever you're using, over top of that line. And if you have an old pen that has no ink, it works great. Now when we turn it over, I do have a chalk line transferred onto the front. I know it's hard for the camera to pick it up, but I can see it quite clearly. This overlapping line is going to be very handy when we go to lay out those pieces. There is another way we're going to be able to use these overlap lines, but I'll show you that when we get to the iron. Once I have all of those pieces copied, cut out, and those transfers done, I do like to take these pieces and put them in number order. So the top piece starts with 1 and goes down to whatever the last piece is. If I have some really small pieces, I'll just put them in an area where I can see that number at a glance. By having all of these stacked and my little ones up at the top, it makes sure, number one, that I haven't missed a piece, and it's just going to be easier because the applique is done by number. We're going to start with 1 and end with the final number. Now, I did not transfer all of those markings on all of the pieces, because there are some pieces you might be able to get away without marking. And we're going to do all of this right at the iron. So I'm going to bring my pages with me, my applique shapes, which have already been fused and cut out. And you can also buy them pre-cut and done for you if you don't want to cut them out. And the special paper we're going to use so we see the shiny side. So if you look, you're going to be able to read that writing underneath. That special sheet is going to go right on top of the ironing surface, but I would recommend putting it on top of something white. I just like to use some white fabric. And I'm going to pin those 4 corners down. I just want to smooth everything out and put the pins in on an angle, and that's just going to keep it from sliding. Having that white surface underneath really shows up those black lines, which are the lines I'm going to need. And the first one we start with is 1. I'm going to place the pieces down one at a time, and I will draw those overlapping lines as I need them, because sometimes I won't need them. If I'm going to be able to follow an outside edge, then I won't need to have those marking lines. For example, number 1. So I'm going to peel off that back paper, line it up right where it is supposed to be. I'm just going to give a little tap with the iron just to hold it in place. If you're not happy with it, it can come right off, and you can reline that piece and just give it a little heat. The next piece is 2. Once again, because I have this outside line, I will not need to do those overlapping lines. But remember, the pieces do overlap. We are accustomed to having those pieces just butt right together, but these overlap, and that way we have no space peeking out. So I can see that outside edge. I've overlapped here, I've overlapped here and here, but because I do have that one outside edge, I'm able to use that. Just a little tap with the iron. We can always add those placement lines if we'd like, but I like to add them as I need them. So you can line up those overlap shapes or just follow the outside shape. When we get inside, we will definitely need those overlap lines. Here's an example of how that overlapping line is going to work. I do have that faint overlapping line right here. My next piece is going to overlap right along that line. There is a little edge that I can line up, but some of those pieces will cover those last lines. Once it's in the right position, just give it a little heat. So piece number 3 should have had some overlapping lines drawn on them. But I'm going to use the original paper as a guide. So the fabric was stuck on this side. I peeled it off and I stuck it on. I can now lay that piece right down and get that next number. Piece number 4 has that overlap shape all the way around. Piece number 3 had that overlap here. So I could have transferred it on this side, or just when you take this paper off, place it right on top. You'll be able to see those lines through this paper. So by holding that paper down, I can see where they go. I can see those lines match up. So I can take that one paper off, take off that second paper, and if I turn those pages over, you can see how those overlaps are going to fit together. We're just looking at it from this side. Once that's in place, just give a little tap. I'm going to keep that number 4, place it just back on top. Now I'm going to get 5. Once it's lined up, I can just take that paper out of the way and give a light press. So for this entire project, some of the pieces I'm going to mark, and some I'm just going to use the actual diagram that I drew on that fusible web. Let me put some more on and I'll show you how it's going to look. The rocks and the body's done. We just need to do that face. And the face does have a lot of little pieces, and that's when it's really good to transfer those marks. On the bigger ones, we can follow the edges and use the marks that we drew on the paper. But if we really want to get that face, it's easier if we do transfer those marks. Once all of those pieces are down, just give it another press. And it just needs to be a light press, just so that you know you haven't missed any of the pieces. And let it cool. Once it's cooled down, we're going to be able to take this entire piece off, and it's going to come off like a big sticker. Having those pieces overlapped made sure everything was glued together, so it's one big piece. And it also prevents any little fabric from the background peeking through. So we now have one huge sticker. This means we're going to be able to addition it. We can position it different places on a full quilt if we'd like, or choose background fabric. If you don't like the one background fabric, it's really easy to addition a second. So there's no guessing involved. Once our background fabric is pressed and ready to go, we can lay and smooth that full applique out, and now we can press that on. It is important we let this cool down, so we let that glue set. Some of the patterns actually give us a little bit of a help when it comes to quilting. For example, that catfish, on the fins you will see all of these additional lines. Those additional lines would be quilting lines, and that's going to give the fins or the body some shape. So I was able to transfer those lines, and that is going to help give this fish, or whatever the picture is, some shape. So some patterns will have those extra lines. We have those overlap lines, but then we do have quilting lines. So I have my big bass done, ready to come off of this sheet, my beautiful heron, my catfish, and my little otter. I could make these as individual blocks and do that whole quilt, or I can get individual blocks itself and just make fun things out of them. And to finish this applique, we're going to treat it just like we do any other applique by going around those shapes with either a very close zigzag stitch, or we can do a blanket stitch, or do a free motion stitch. Add some shapes to the body, and well, we're ready to go. So to finish off these placemats, I did do a blanket stitch all the way around. Then I've put my 3 layers together, did a stitch all the way around, one down the center and around the water, and then just did some wavy lines to make it look like water. So the last thing I'm going to need to do is trim this up and bind it and make a placemat. So I have the one almost done. Now I need to get the other ones done, and that's going to have to be for another day. So I have the heron ready to go on the fabric. My catfish is ready to go. I do have that otter put on fabric, and my bass is now ready to be trimmed down and have some binding put on. These appliques are part of a bigger pattern, and I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to check it out. Or maybe you'd like to just catch one fish on your own. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe and come on back. Let's see what we're catching next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.